In 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Zachary here, and in today's video, I just wanted to revisit an idea I had around the time of COVID. And before I get into all that, I just want to give a quick shout out to my younger brother, Jeremiah, for the gift of this microphone. It sounds really nice. And this is without the microphone. This is with. This is without. This is with. And just want to say thank you. So, the idea I was talking about actually had to do with something I don't watch a lot of right now. It was actually about anime, which would be Japanese animation. And the story goes, back around the time of COVID, some of my friends took me to the movies to go see a film for this Japanese series called My Hero Academia. I wasn't into watching it, and by the time I went to go see the movie, I was like less than 2 episodes in or something like that, so I wasn't aware of everything that was going on. But seeing the movie, you know, it was still pretty good, you know, and everything like that for an outsider going in. And then we went back to go see it like a few days later or something like that. And at some point, I ended up having an idea of what if someone who is already interested in film and television, came up with an idea that took place in the same style of format. Now, of course, that takes a great deal of work because animation takes time, and that's just not something I'm at a level of yet. It is something I would like to visit one day. But something I admire about this style of television is, and call me a nerd or whatever, but is the art and the detail that goes into it. Like if you watch any of the Studio Ghibli movies and just how much detail Hayao Miyazaki, I hope I said his name right, puts into his frames, or another guy, Genndy Tartakovsky, I hope I said his name right, with his different series like Primal or Samurai Jack. I really enjoyed Primal and just seeing the hand-drawn animation style, because that's something that you don't see too much of today. And to be honest, I tip my hat to it because it takes a lot of effort. Again, I'm on the outside looking in. But in terms of the whole anime thing, I started with those 2 movies, aside from, you know, stuff I saw when I was a kid. Again, I wasn't big into this stuff, but when I was a kid, I remember Cartoon Network used to show shows like, for one period, One Piece. It used to be on back then. I'm nowhere near up to date on any of those. I'm just not up to date, but I do remember it. And then there was another series called Zatch Bell. I'd have to look it up, see if I can find a picture to put in the video, but I remember those 2 series. And of course, Dragon Ball Z would be on Nicktoons, and I would watch that and was interested in it. And it was, you know, later on, years later, again, around the time of COVID, that I had that idea of what if I drew something or made a story that took place in this art style. You know, I'm not going to go through the effort of creating a whole manga type of thing, you know, but at the same, my idea was more of you write a novel and then I would illustrate that same novel with the idea, and it would be in an it would be in a art style similar to what I'd seen in the movie. So I started to come up with this idea in my mind of what I would do, and unfortunately I was really lazy about keeping up with it, and it's still a lot of it is still just right up here in my head, and I started putting some of it down on paper, but I need to pick that back up again. But my hope is that this is something I could actually, you know, after writing and actually compiling the story together in an actual book, you know, and hopefully getting it on the shelf somewhere, is that as a book, I don't have to have a whole, you know, creative team of just like, you know, trying to put it together like it's a short film or anything like that. But I could do a lot of the work on my own, you know, going through the drafts and everything like that, which would take, of course, a lot of time and revisions and other people, like in terms when it does come to like proofreading and everything like that and just getting it set. I understand that takes time, but it is something I'd still have an interest in doing. So where was I? So we go see the movie twice, and then going forward, I started getting into more TV series, more anime, and, you know, for example, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, a little bit of Berserk, and what else am I missing? Oh, and then also the first 4 seasons of My Hero Academia. I remember during COVID sitting down in the basement eating burgers and actually, watching the series until it got up to the whole subtitled versus dub versions. And I enjoyed it. It was nice, and then the idea, I didn't start putting it on paper till, I don't remember when I started, but I would get the journal, and I would was nowhere near consistent with writing it, which was bad on my part. But if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it at some point, so it's better to put the idea down on paper. And I started talking to one of my friends from church who is an author, and he was giving me tips and books that he recommended would help me with the writing process and just getting into just that mode of thinking and just getting into practice. So that was some very useful advice there. And something else I started watching was the Ghibli Fest films. They would come back to theaters, and I had only seen one of them all the way through. Probably it was Princess Mononoke, and that film looked beautiful. And again, that was another Miyazaki film. And once they started putting these films back in theaters, I was going in there and I would decide, okay, I'll just start watching them for the first time in here, and I just made a habit of that, as they would come back month to month. And they were different from American films. I felt like they were more non-linear, and I still don't understand everything about them at all, but I do, again, just appreciating the artwork, and the 2D animation was a nice format. It was a nice setting. Okay, then we fast forward to the year 2023 at the beginning of the spring semester, and I am starting my last session for my master's degree in film, and we had to come up with a short film idea. So my idea was to take still frame images and take the same story that I'd thought up already after watching these different series, and I was going to do that for my final project. And my teacher, without hesitation, he just shot it down because he had good reasons to as well. I wasn't skilled in terms of knowing Japanese culture, and if I making the series, I'd want to do it right. I didn't want it to look like, I don't want it to look like an American was writing the series, even though I am an American and I was going to write the series. And then also there was the whole idea of art would go with it, and doing all these different landscapes and everything like that is not something I'm experienced with either. So he basically shut the idea down for a final project, which was actually wise on his part to do as a teacher, and then also just taking that, okay, it's something I can revisit later. But again, the idea would have been to take still frame images and then do a narration in the background. If you recognize this wallpaper, my brothers probably will. It's from a game series that actually used the same art style that I wanted to adapt. And this game is Ace Combat 4. And instead of doing a CGI cutscene story, they decided to do art still frame with narration in the background, and it looked really nice. Going in that style would be easier than me trying to do animation, I believe. So that is something that I wouldn't mind picking up. So that would be a start for a YouTube series. And to add to that, I would say my goal in doing this series well would be writing it and in such a way that, let's go ahead and speak it into existence now. When this story does eventually reach Japan, whether it's, dubbed in a feature film years later from now, or it's, a well-crafted YouTube series, I would want Japanese people to actually think that it was, a series that began in that same country of Japan. That would be a goal achieved for me. Like, okay, they couldn't tell that it was written by some dude from Georgia, down in the Bible Belt. So going forward, this is just a bit of a start, or it's not even a sneak peek because I don't have anything to show right now for it, but I'm up to the challenge. And the other good thing is that I can combine this with my interest in art already with drawing, and give myself time to practice and learn the art style, and then just kind of make a documented YouTube series about this. It's I usually do exercise type of videos and stuff like that, but this is also another interest of mine, again, as someone who's who's into film. And I want to see where this goes. And like I said, I'm up to the challenge. Now, putting things in perspective, let's not be so professional. If you want to learn how to write, what do? You read accomplished writers, people who are good at the craft. If you want to learn how to direct good films, you watch people who have directed great films. You watch great films. So if you want to make a good Japanese series, you watch Japanese series. So what I'm asking right now is, for those who are fans of anime and have a bunch of different series under their belt that they really loved or enjoyed, send me your recommendations. I'm not very far into the waters here. There's only so many different shows that I've watched, and I'm open to learning more. Now, I would say nothing too crazy in terms of, content. I mean, violence isn't the issue, but, again, nothing too crazy in terms of recommendations. But if you're going to recommend the Netflix series of Berserk, don't bother. I accidentally watched that stuff and it just wasn't for me. I will revisit the original 90s series of that. It's on YouTube, last time I checked. But yeah, just send me your recommendations of great anime that you watched, and I will see what I can go through and sort the list of different shows. The first one at the top of my list isn't really an anime. It was an American show that I was recommended at movie night a couple weeks ago. It was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not the movie version, but the Nickelodeon original version. I remember when this show originally started. Back when I was a kid, my brother really liked it, but I was not into it or appreciated it, back then. But seeing that it has such a high rating on like IMDb, and it was, people talk about it so well, that is a TV series that I will be revisiting, and it'll be the first on my list, even though it didn't originate in Japan, from what I know. So that'll be the first start. But if you have any recommendations, please let me know and wish me well in this. And we'll just see when things really do start to, churn out and come together. This is going to be a whole process, and it's going to take a long time. But if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That being said, I'm going to work some days going forward. Just to be honest, it's still going to take some serious effort. But the reward should be seeing, starting from the very beginning and then working your way into, something that looks like it's already been a feature show. The heart of being a filmmaker is storytelling. So this will just be another avenue for that. So thank you for watching so far, and have a great weekend.